I'm going to make a circle. And I'm not going to give it a fill. I'll give it like a grayish color. And I'll make it a little less wide. There we go. Okay. This will be my bike tire. Now I'm going to set the anchor point to the middle of it by command double clicking on the hand behind tool. It's right there. And I'm going to add a star and I'm going to line these up. So for that, I'm going to need the transform for the star in that layer. They're both on the same layer. And I'll line them up. There we go. So now I can go to my star, change the number of points to it, change the amount for the stroke. I can also adjust the inner and outer radius. Now I'm getting a bike wheel very easily. Bike tire, okay? And I'm going to, do I need to move this a little bit more? What I need to do is I need to scale it up. So I'm gonna go to my transform for that shape, not the transform for the layer. And I can scale it up a little bit. Like that. Perfect. That's my tire. So I've already got one tire drawn. Bike has two tires. I'm gonna shift deduplicate it, move it, let's say about here. And I'll just do this the fast, lazy way. Use a rectangle. And I'll put it there. I'll put that there. We'll pretend this is the bike body. Okay. If I need to keep these layers separate, that's no problem. Or, since it's a bike, I'm going to just pre-compose all these together. Select them, right click, pre-compose, I'll call it bike body. Move all attributes into new comp. So I've got the body and the tires, all right? Now, I'm going to parent the tires to the body. Let's test it out. I'm going to move it. It's all moving together. Great. Now I'm going to get experimental because that's what lab is all about. For the tires, I'm going to use the pick whip by rotation because I've got a pick whip here and a pick whip there. I'm going to drag the pick whip to the word position for the body of the bike. Now, when I move my bike, the tires are rotating as it moves. So, let's move the bike off the screen. Click my stopwatch, go from there to about here. Move it to the edge of the screen. Use my speed graph to easy ease these. Right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. Click here to go to my speed graph. This looks like my, this is speed graph, okay. We'll have it go slower as it gets to the end. So let's see what happens now. See? The wheels get slower in the rotation as it slows down. I'm going to move this so we can see even more drastically. The farther and faster it's moving, the more it's rotating, just like it would realistically. That's another example of parenting. You've got pick whips for your stopwatches as well as for the layer. So by using the pick whip for the rotation stopwatch, I was able to parent the rotation to the position of the tires. All right, I am going to now hold down Alt or Option and get rid of that expression. Okay, now, so that's a bicycle. Let me delete the bike body. And what I'm gonna do next is, if I were to do a train, let's try a tie rod going across here. So the train, as it moves, the rod moves up and down with the rotation. So let's think this through. So I'm going to get rid of that layer. Let's try a rod here. Let me get rid of my duplicate wheel. So there's that rod to there. I'll call this rod. All right, now I'm going to put the anchor point at the center. We'll grab the rod and the tire, make sure they line up with my align. There we go. Perfect. So this will be the rod. There's the tire. I'm going to parent the rod to the tire. I can use the drop down or the pick whip. So now I'm going to duplicate both of these. P for position. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to drag both of them together so they stay together. Let me line those back up. I don't know why that one moved like that. It shouldn't have. There we go. So now, okay, they're parented together. Great. So I've got two rods, two tires. The rods are parented to the tires. And as the tires rotate, the rod moves with it. I'm going to use the pen tool next. Nothing selected. I'm going to click on the rods and just draw a straight line like that. And I'll call this crossbar. There's my crossbar. And I'm going to give it no fill. Make it a little thicker so we can see it more easily. And I'll change the color so we can see it more easily too. So now you can see each part of it. Okay. As the tires will rotate, let me put the anchor point at the middle of the crossbar. There we go. Okay, great. As these tires rotate, the rods are going to move around. This needs to stay connected to the rods. The crossbar needs to stay connected to that. So since I drew this with the pen tool, that means I can now go to Window. I showed you this earlier. Create nulls from paths. Nulls are invisible objects that don't render that you can use for situations such like this. I'm going to do points follow nulls. Oh, that's right. I gotta select them first. What that means is I gotta open up the path, stopwatch, and click on the word path for this to work. Like that. I've clicked on the word path. Paths follow nulls. Okay, that's there. And now there's my nulls. So I've got 2 of them. Let's name them. This is tire 2. Let me lower this, and this will be tire 1. So tire 1, here's tire 1. I'm going to parent this null to the rod for tire 1. And I'm going to parent this null to the rod for tire 2. The rods are parented to the tires. So as the tires rotate, the blue rods will spin around with them. I parented the null path points of the crossbar to the rods so that they will stay with that rod. It should stay with that. So now, since we're doing a train, we'll pretend that this is our train right here. That shape right there. I'll call it train body. Okay, perfect. I'm going to parent the tires to the train. So as the train moves, the tires move. Now I'm going to parent the rotation. Remember, here's the pick whip for the rotation. There's the pick whip for the layer. The pick whip of the rotation to the train over there. Same thing here. So what should work is as this moves, yep, now it's all coming together. So I'm going to just have this go back and forth on the screen. There to there. And let's ease those. Go to our speed graph. Slow into it. And let's make sure it works. Yep. So the tires rotation is parented to the position of the train body. The blue bars that show the wheel spinning around are parented to the tire. So as the tire spins, that blue bar spins with it. The red crossbar, I had to create nulls so that it stays to where the blue bars are. That's how you get it to follow that rotation. And with that, nulls follow windows, that window nulls follow path or whatever. That's how I got all of this to work like that. So there is a reason for learning parenting and figuring out parenting order to get more complex animations and study it. Since I got a little bit more time, I'm going to save this. So that's comp 1. I'll call this train. Do I still have the bike body? Okay. So I don't have the tires for that. But the bike body still follows all the same stuff, so I'll get rid of that. Okay. So I'm going to call this one Nulls Paths. And I'm going to draw a squiggly line with multiple path points. Okay, I've got like 6 or 7 of them. Contents, shape, path, click on the word path. I'm going to go window, create nulls from paths. For the train, we did points follow nulls. So for each point, it creates a null. When you move the null, it'll move the path point. I'll demonstrate that again. So this null right here, if I position it and move it, the path point moves with it. Okay, so I'm gonna hit undo. That's what the first one does. The second one, nulls follow points. It's the opposite. If I get my path and I move the point, the null moves with it, okay? So that's what that one does. The last one, trace path. I'm gonna click on there. The null will follow the path. So you can have it loop or not loop. I'm going to turn off loop. I'm going to hide the path, and I'm going to draw a star. Like such, basically put the anchor point in the center of it. I'm going to parent the star. We label this as star. I'll parent the star to the null. And now the star is going to move along the path. I can move this even more so by, let's try. I right-clicked on the star. In the transform that pops up from the right-click, I'm going to choose Auto Orient, and I'm going to orient along path. So what's going to happen now is as the star moves, it's going to rotate a little bit as it goes along the path. There we go. Now it's doing it better. Like that. So those are the three different ways of using that expression. And I'm going to do 3 points: shoulder, elbow, wrist. Okay. Arm. Here we go. And I'm going to go down to my stroke. I'm going to round this out. So now I've got a cartoony look. Okay? There's my arm. All right. Now I'm going to draw a hand. You know what? I'm going to put the anchor point at the shoulder where it would be. Hold down Command to snap it. Okay, now my arm's all set. So if I rotate it, it's going to rotate like an arm would at the body. Now I'm going to draw a hand. Just going to do a quick cartoony mitten. Save time. That round join is important because it'll help keep it with the it'll hide any hard edges that I don't want. So that's my hand. And we'll give it a fill instead of a stroke. I'll even change the color of it too. Okay. My arm, I'm going to give that expression to with the nulls. So I need to click on the word path for it to work. There we go. I'm going to go Window, Create Nulls from Paths. Click there. Points follow nulls. Yes. So it helped to name them. This one's the wrist. This one's the elbow. This one's the shoulder. All right, great. Let's move the wrist. My hand, I will parent to the wrist null. So now, look at this. Arm moves the way it would, but in addition to position, I've got rotation. Now you can see the hand will rotate with the null. This is something similar to what Sarah did with her headphone cable, and it's a good way of quickly rigging together a character if you need to keep the hands following the body. This is the way to do it with Nulls. And you just move the different Nulls as you need to get the look you want. And remember, with After Effects, anything with the stopwatch, you can animate over time. You just need a minimum of at least 2 keyframes. Go check my mail, see if anybody else has anything yet. Nope. Okay. And we'll be getting to all this stuff throughout the semester, but it's a good idea to always introduce it to you early so that you get a glimpse of the things you can do and try and find ways that'll save you time and the animation workflows that you like most. So I'm going to send this to the class after I'm done the stream. Again, just a reminder, no matter what you're doing, think about what you want to do, then try and figure out how you want to do it. I wanted to make a train, so I knew the parts I needed. Then I had to set the anchor points for each layer so that it moves the way that I want to. The anchor point influences the animation. Then I move the playhead to where I want to animate my stopwatches. And then I clicked on the stopwatches I needed, moved the playhead in time to where I want the changes to end. I added expressions by using the pick whip for that stopwatch, not the pick whip for that layer. And I got something complex with only 2 keyframes and a lot of parenting and troubleshooting ahead of time. Let's push this a little bit more. Now remember, if I've got the number highlighted and I hold down Shift and I hit the up and down arrows, I can quickly find the font size that I want. And with the selection arrow, I can use my arrow keys on my keyboard, set this up how I want. So I'm going to parent the word train to the train body so that as the train moves, we've got that. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to add some texture. So now I'm going to import that texture. I could double click in the empty space of my project panel or go File, Import File. Put the texture below the text layer so I can see what I'm doing. Scale it up. Like that. Okay, great. And remember, alpha mats. A mask goes over your face, like a Halloween mask right there. That's on top, so I'm going to use my alpha mat. I go to the layer below it, to the track mat, choose alpha mat. So now I've got some nice textured type to go with my text. And that happened. So I'm going to go there, and I'm just going to parent the texture to the text. Now it stays. The texture is parented to the text is parented to the train. Parenting matters. You just got to think it through. No matter what you're rigging together, every element needs to be connected if you want the whole thing to stay together. Motion design is 85% mental. You got to do a lot of troubleshooting to get the look you want. Remember, little by little each week, and that's how you get a good project. You can't put it off to the last second. Don't spend most of your time on your artwork because this is motion design, not graphic design. There is graphic design to it, but you're also going to be graded on the quality of your motion, not just the quality of your graphics. And if I wanted to, I could get elements that looked more like a train in the textures and just parent them to the shapes. Same way I did with the text and the texture. And that's some of what we're going to be covering next week as well. Intermediate problem solving with your graphic design and your motion design.